get your head in the game with a little pre-cold call mantra to make sure that you hit the ground running. Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Sales. We're a sales training and development agency based in the UK as well as the USA and serving clients worldwide. And here today in day number 33 of 119 days of cold calling training, we're here to talk about the get in the game zone approach. And before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to the additional 17 strategies that are not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, this is something that I believe that you're probably all familiar with. So I'm not going to talk about this at length too much, but it's just important to psych yourself up before you get into or get onto the call. Everyone's got a different approach. In my instance, now the key is, number one, to have some form of mantra, and you'll find that you already have some form of mantra. It's just raising your level of awareness to it. Now, you might start to feel really nervous when you go in, and that's a mantra, but it's a negative one, okay? So raising your level of self-awareness as to what do I do immediately before I get onto a call, and is that benefiting me or is that undermining my ability to call? So first of all, it's just about identifying what you're actually doing already. So I see some people get onto the phone and I see the nervousness in their face. I sometimes don't see much because they're keeping it all underneath the surface. So they're doing the poker face. But this is about your own self-exploration and to recognize, what am I doing when I go into the call? And if it isn't positive, if you're having heart flutters, but they're impeding your ability to be focused, to be composed, then that's a problem. If you're unable to turn it on when you turn up and ultimately then lead with energy, with confidence, with fluency, with clarity, with the ability to turn it into a little bit of a performance. If you're unable to just turn it on like a zinger, then you're going to run into problems. And in order for you to be able to do that, you need to get into the game zone, right? So get into the zone is that space where you're in a little bit of a flow state, where your thinking stops and your mind narrows and all you're focused upon is the call and when someone answers, and everything else goes out of your mind completely. That is what you want to aim for with this type of approach. And if you're thinking and fumbling around with different things, that could be a combination of inexperience, a combination of not having a proper system, routine, or setup, which is all fine. It's all normal when you begin the cold call journey. It still might be normal if you're well into your cold call journey, but it's just interesting to analyze what is it that you do when you jump onto the calls, and could that process be tweaked? And for me, to be specific, what used to happen was that I got a little bit nervous with heart flutters. I then would start to fumble with my mouse a little bit, and in my head, if I was to give my feelings a word, there's probably oh shit, I hope this goes well, I hope this is okay. Now it has since transitioned to the noise blocks out and my heart is beating a little bit like I'm about to start a 100-meter race, and I'm like, Deepak, it's effing go time. Let's go out there and get some. And at a subconscious level, I know that I want to book a lead or appointment in every 20 minutes. That's my goal. That is my personal standard that I set, that depending upon the industry, I can do as much if there's a good pickup rate, one lead every potentially 10 minutes, but certainly within 20 minutes, if I've got a good set of phone numbers, then fantastic. If I've got a bad set of phone numbers, it might end up being once every 30 to 45 minutes. It's unusual that it's once every hour. That would be quite unusual for me. And what I do is I think, right, it's go time. I've got my numbers. I've got to get them, and I'm going to get them. And I go in with a huge level of self-belief. Physically, what am I doing? I'm sat or I'm stood. I'm quite, let's say, still, apart from my feet. My feet twitch a little bit because it feels like I'm almost about to be on that 100-meter track. I'm visualizing the success that's going to happen, booking in the call, then saying, yep, I'm interested. So there's a little bit of visualization that's going on in my mind. I visualize myself making the calls, placing the dials, using our power dialer, then picking up, and me performing in front of an audience. The idea of performing in front of an audience is something that helps me rise to a challenge. I enjoy it and it's fun. So that's the space that I lean into. And these are the things that are going through my mind. So maybe, I don't know how obvious this is anymore, but feel free to begin with, to investigate what is your mantra. So your mantra is in the beginning, a unprepared but habitual routine that you find yourself falling into prior to getting on to doing your cold calls. And once you're able to identify that, if it's a series of feelings, what words would you give those feelings? If those feelings had a voice, what would that voice be? And if you're able then to articulate what that is, if it's a, oh crap, oh, I feel a bit nervous, I hope that this goes well, I really need to get a lead, but I'm not sure I'm going to get it. If it's any of that kind of language, you got to fix it up. And you can, whilst you're in the process of fixing up, you can fix up your environment. You can fix up what you're listening to just before you get onto the cold calls. You can fix up ultimately what images you're looking at before you get onto the calls. You can fix up what you forcibly visualize when you and before you get onto the call. So guys, get into the game zone to start smashing through those numbers.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.